Today in Springdale, a pretrial hearing is set for the founder of the nonprofit Second Milk, Jason Carney, and his wife, Lacey. They face federal fraud charges with the jury trial set for next month. Both of them have pleaded not guilty. The court documents say Second Milk was granted tax-exempt status to save the lives of malnourished and orphaned infants in Africa and around the globe. The Carneys are accused of diverting donations meant for the nonprofit into personal use. Their lawyers are now asking the court to dismiss the indictment, claiming privileged communications were improperly disclosed during discovery. The pretrial hearing is set for this afternoon. And the victim of a stabbing in Springdale is in critical condition but is stable. Meanwhile, police continue their search for the suspect. Police say they're looking for this man, 25-year-old Ladarius Green. The stabbing happened on Sunday off Thrush Drive. Investigators say it does appear to be an isolated incident and that there's no threat to the public. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Springdale Police Department. Well, 1 year since President Trump took office, the focus this week remains on foreign policy. He heads to Davos, Switzerland later today for the World Economic Forum, where his push for Greenland is expected to dominate conversations at the summit. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
President Trump leaves tonight for Davos, where European allies hope to de-escalate tensions over Greenland. But the president is making clear he's not backing down.
Let's put it this way, it's going to be a very interesting Davos.
Ahead of the summit, President Trump posted a series of eye-catching social media posts. One image of him planting the American flag in Greenland.
It is not easy when we wake up every morning to new threats.
Another revealing a private message from French President Emmanuel Macron saying, "I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland." At Davos today, Macron also addressed the president's newly threatened tariffs on allies over the issue.
An endless accumulation of new tariffs that are fundamentally unacceptable, even more so when they are used as leverage against territorial sovereignty.
In London, House Speaker Mike Johnson told British Parliament he hoped to calm the waters.
We have always been able to work through our differences calmly as friends. We will continue to do that. I want to assure you this morning that that is still the case.
The international tensions come as President Trump marks 1 year into his second term. The latest CBS News polling shows his approval rating at 41% overall, with many saying they want more focus on the economy.
People have told us that their income isn't keeping pace with inflation. That's been a consistent story through the year, and so they have been looking for the administration to put more emphasis on lowering prices.
President Trump says in Davos he will deliver the message that America's economy is strong. He's also expected to talk about affordability. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Arkansas hospital officials are raising concerns about a recent immigration directive they say could strain already tight budgets and make staffing more difficult. President Donald Trump's order would impose a $100,000 fee on new international hires using H-1B visas. According to our partners at Arkansas Business, executives say it may leave local hospitals unsure of how they'll fill certain positions.
I've seen the look on those people's faces when they walk in there, and they have a look of despair because they're embarrassed.
Well, new USDA data shows Arkansas ranks the most food insecure state for the third year in a row. That comes from the final Household Food Security Report. The USDA announced in September that it's canceling it after this one. The report combines data from interviews collected over the course of 3 years. Since the 2022 report, the statewide level has increased by more than 2%. Local food banks are stepping up to help.
Nobody deserves to be hungry, and nobody needs to be hungry, because we've got an 84,000 square foot building here full of food. That's what it's for, is to help people who need help.
Leaders with the Northwest Arkansas Food Bank say food insecurity in the state is still rising and a long-term solution is needed.
It goes from all the way from you're food insecure and you're not getting help to your food insecure but you're still getting help, or you're food secure but only with help.
Despite the report ending, food banks across the state are developing new programs and partnerships to address the issue. The thousands of Tyson Foods layoffs take effect today with potential ripple effects across the nation's beef supply. Nearly 5,000 Tyson Foods workers in Texas and Nebraska are losing their jobs. More than 1,700 positions are being cut in Amarillo, Texas, while the Lexington, Nebraska beef plant is closing entirely. There's been no word about any layoffs here in Arkansas. The Associated Press reports the layoffs could reduce U.S. beef processing by up to 9%. Well, tonight, the Fort Smith Board of Directors will decide how to spend millions in city funds. Some leaders say it should go toward construction for water slides purchased in 2024, while others say it would be better used for public safety. The board will look at approving an extra $2 million to install water slides the city bought nearly 2 years ago for Pear Island Water Park and decide where that money will come from. Police and fire unions warn that the project diverts funds from public safety, urging the board to use the money for pay, benefits, and staffing to support officers and firefighters. City leaders say the 2026 budget cuts affected only vacant positions, and reserve funds can't cover ongoing expenses. The decision could determine whether city funds prioritize entertainment or essential public safety. That meeting is tonight at 6, and we'll bring you the latest on what happens.